This is a different format than what I'm used to in terms of recording shit. But earlier this morning, I was writing this newsletter, and this shit made me reflect on a lot of things that I had completely forgotten about. And I thought that it'd be awesome to kind of share it with you guys as well. So, the title of this newsletter is I Killed My Reflection to Live Again. Identity Death is Not the End. And there's this quote by Confucius. We have two lives, and the second one begins when we realize that we only have one. And this quote, I feel like I've heard this so many different times in like many different forms, but it's never really registered to me the actual meaning behind it. At least in my case, it never really made sense to me until I actually hit rock bottom. And when I actually say that, I don't mean like the same casual way that people uh, say in the words of like, you know, oh yeah, I hit rock bottom. And then meanwhile, their definition of rock bottom is they're working a 9 to 5 job, or uh, I don't know, maybe they have like one or two friends that they usually hang out with, or they got into like a fight with like their significant other, or some like small bullshit like that, right? I feel like this word called rock bottom is thrown around like pretty easily. But for me, like my definition of rock bottom, like this happened to me. Like the most recent rock bottom moment for myself was back in December 2024 to March 2025. And I shit you not, this was the absolute worst that I've ever felt in my entire life. And for those of you that know me personally, at the age of 24, all the way to 25, that was the first time that I turned rock bottom into something significantly different. Like that's when my life actually changed. And at this moment, what happened to me between December and March of earlier this year, I was operating without a purpose, without peace, without a romantic partner. I actually got dumped earlier this year, and I ended up in 20K debt from this business failure that I ran with a friend. I also ended up out of shape. I became severely underweight, and I didn't have a source of income, and ultimately ended up moving back to New York City from Amsterdam. So I had become the worst version of myself in a long time. And the bad habits that I thought I ended up killing off, doom scrolling, binge watching shows, and I'm talking about like Netflix and anime, dude, I went back to doing that shit. I was eating junk food and sweets again, and I ended up staying up late on most nights. Like all these bad habits suddenly ended up returning to me. And it was bad, man. Like I would literally spend 3 months just living in the past, coping with like, how the fuck did I go from like 10K in debt, skinny, fat, unconfident, to then hitting 10K months, traveling across Europe with my ex, feeling the most fulfilled in my life ever. Like I felt like I hit like the pinnacle of success like not that long ago. So having all of that taken away from myself, it was like holy shit. For the next 3 months, I was just reminiscing on all the good times, and I'm just thinking of like, how the fuck did I lose everything? Where did I go wrong? And I don't deserve this. And then April 2025, like I just gave up, bro. Like I got so frustrated at myself of just like feeling absolutely helpless that I was just like, you know what, like fuck it all. Like this is it. Like no more of this shit. So I made a promise to myself that I was gonna change my life again the second time through a process called identity shifting. So identity shifting is something that it's not something that I've been through myself, but it's something that I teach other people how to do. And this process can be used in a different multitude of ways. So, some examples that are listed here: significantly improving your fitness and health, building a foundation for a profitable business, meeting the perfect romantic partner, creating a greater network for your social circle. And now, the reason why I say that identity shifting is literally like the answer or the process for anything in your life is because think of it this way, right? You are currently stuck in your current situation, and there's a desired situation that you're trying to get to. In that format, it's sort of like there's one end of the bridge that you're currently at. You're on this side. And now you want to get to the other side. So sort of like, the grass is greener on the other side. However, the only reason why you will never get to where you actually want to be, which is the other side of the bridge, is simply because you are not the right person for the job. Think of it this way. The person that you are today that does certain actions, has certain thoughts, has certain beliefs, you are a certain identity on a piece of paper. And due to these statistics, these characteristics, these traits that you are as a person, it is solely responsible for where you are in life. Therefore, the life that you're trying to get to in advance requires a different type of programming for yourself as a person. And that's why I always say with identity shifting, it doesn't matter what problem you have, it is the answer to all of your fucking problems. And I'm speaking about this from personal experience as well as the experience from my students. So for today, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about my story of how it took me 90 days to become the most disciplined, confident, and grounded version of myself that I've ever been. No therapy, no counseling. Honestly, yo, fuck therapy and fuck counseling because I feel like I'm gonna go on a little ramble here, but that's the whole point of these take one videos. It's gonna be raw and as authentic as I possibly can be. But my opinion on therapy and counseling, I feel like it's bullshit. And the only reason why I say that is because it's like imagine going to seek therapy and having a therapist tell you, and how does that make you feel, you being in that situation? And then the therapist convincing you that you should love yourself the way that you are. Like, it's fucking bullshit. How the fuck does anyone You cannot convince anyone to love themselves for being out of shape, for being broke, for not being confident. Like that is fucking bullshit. But going back to the main point, these 90 days that I've gone through in terms of my transformation journey, this was a war against my old self. And now to give you an idea of what I went through, just to give you some expectations, so when you do decide to change your life, this is what I want you to expect. But before we get into that, these are the few things that we're going to cover. So, my breaking point, losing it all, the mirror moment from my uncle, the death and rebirth of myself, recreating the identity, what you need to know about execution, about execution, and the results that you can expect. So, those of you that don't know my story, I've had a series of different mentors in my life and in my career. One of my very first mentors was actually in healthcare, and the other one was in sales. So, to bring you back through what I actually went through, December 2024, I was invited to this Christmas party that was hosted by my healthcare mentor. And this was actually back in New York City. So, to give you some context, at that time, I was already 20K in debt from a business failure that I had with a friend of mine. So, what happened was we were competing in this entrepreneurial competition that was called the School Games that was hosted by Sam Ovens and Alex Hormozy. So, that competition was basically like the person that generates the most amount of monthly recurring income would basically be flown out to, I believe it was Vegas, to be in this like mastermind where we get like I guess you call it like group coaching event with Sam Ovens and with Alex Ramosi himself, so that they can show us how they can scale our businesses even further. So we were actually doing pretty fucking good. Like in that first month, we made over 50K. And this is through a combination of monthly memberships as well as one-to-one coaching. And this was earlier back in 2024. Like I remember like my partner and I, we spent literally from like February, March-ish of 2024. And we ended up dropping out, I think it was like October, November-ish. That's when we basically gave up. And the reason for this is because for the school games, they ended up changing this rule, and our business model basically didn't qualify for it. So our entire plan fell apart. So we couldn't hold our promises to our clients, and we basically had to refund everyone. And not only that, we ended up hiring a software engineer for 10K, and we also had to end up paying him out of pocket. So, needless to say, during this Christmas party, I had a little bit too much to drink. And I don't know about you guys, but us fucking Asians, bro, we can't drink for shit. Like we cannot tolerate that. But from what I can remember, that alcohol brought up something pretty fucking painful for me. And I don't even know if I could call it like an existential crisis, like what I wrote down here. But it was more so like this realization that, yo, dude, Alan, you're in deep shit right now. And I don't think you understand that. And like I remember that time I was just like playing it off like in the back of my head. It was just sort of like looming over me. I was just like, yeah, it's fine, I'll be all right. Bro, I'm in debt. I got money to pay people off. My family still relies on me. I have students to take care of. And my long distance relationship was quite literally on a thread. And I don't like talking about this because I feel like, at least for me personally, I've always seen myself as someone that was strong, capable, independent. Like, people come to me, I don't go to people for help. And I hate saying this, but December 2024 was probably the second time in my entire life that I've contemplated on unaliving myself. And I mean, obviously, I'm still here. Like, it never happened, but it was thanks to my best friend that that shit didn't go through, and along with some other stuff. But story for another time. It was after this dark episode that my ex, like 1 2 weeks later, we would end up ending our relationship through fucking FaceTime on some pussy shit. That's how it ended, and I don't blame her whatsoever because at the end of the day, like, dude, if you're a guy, like, put yourself in the position of the girl for a sec. Who the fuck would want to be with you if number one, you're in fucking debt, and number two, you're mentally unstable? So I don't blame her whatsoever. So to sum it all up, I used to be the guy that would live abroad in Europe, book flights to wherever the fuck I wanted with my partner. And all while doing that, I was getting paid to help people worldwide with their transformation. All at the same time, I was staying in shape. And I went from that to moving back to my home in New York City, now binge watching the same fucking bullshit Netflix shows and anime that I used to watch back when I was in college. I started rewatching Supernatural, the fucking series. I started watching the DC comics on Netflix, fucking called Arrow. I started watching The Flash again, bro. 15 pounds underweight, and I started doom scrolling through fucking Instagram again, and like all at the same time, I'm just like going through photos of myself and like my ex and like all those like good old days type shit. Bro, it was embarrassing as fuck. Like, that shit was bad, bro. Like, if you guys were to have seen how I look like, it was not fucking pretty. So, the only thoughts that were honestly running through my mind was like, yo, dude, did I really just hit like peak life right now? Like, that was my best life. Like, is that really it? And it was like that one night where I was just like, like, if enough is enough, maybe it's time for me to, actually get some help. And from there, I reached out to my uncle, and that became the mirror moment that I had that I'm writing down here. So, for me, like, dude, my friends know me as someone that's like super fucking stubborn. My ego is like to the fucking moon, bro. Like, you will never out ego me in anything. But it was at this moment in April 2025 that I honestly went to go look for help. So I swallowed my fucking pride because the only way that anyone is ever going to change is by accepting that they ain't shit. Because if you feel like you're the best in this fucking world, and as some other people say, like fucking Andrew Tate would say, oh yeah, like it's okay for you to have an ego. Like, that's actually the best thing for you to have for yourself. Here's a quick news fucking flash. If you believe that you're the best in this world, guess the fuck what's gonna happen? You gave yourself zero chance to grow because you believe that you're perfect. You believe that you're the best. Therefore, you cannot learn from anyone. So you're limiting yourself. So it's like, if you truly want to grow, humble yourself first, tell yourself you ain't shit, and then accept help from other people. Do as they would. Put yourself in the best possible position to become successful. So for me, it was going to speak to my uncle. And at the moment, he's 35 years old. He's a senior software engineer. He lives with his girlfriend, I believe now fiance, in this nice ass penthouse in downtown Brooklyn. And dude, like, he is the complete opposite of the motivational type. Like, he will only tell you what you need to hear. He will never tell you what you want to hear. So I remember, like, we spent that day. We're just walking through Dumbo, Brooklyn, and we're just walking around and shit. After getting some coffee, we ended up going back to his place, where he had like a gym, and we decided to go hit legs that day. And I remember just telling him how I felt. I was just like, "Yo, dude, like, I'm fucking broke. I'm in debt. Like I'm trying to recover right now. Um, I'm still thinking about my ex and shit like that. Like, dude, like everything just fucking hurts. Like, I fucking hate myself. I'm in so much fucking pain, and I don't know what to do. You know." And I remember like we're hitting legs, and we go to the bench, we go to the leg press machine, and I'm here like fucking, leg pressing 270 pounds for fucking reps. And at that time, I only weighed 130 pounds, bro. So I was like, "Hey, yo, I'm strong as fucking shit." You know what I mean? And he goes like, "Yo, Alan, that's your fucking problem. You think that you still got it when you really don't. You're garbage right now. You're in debt. You get dumped. You have no income. You're not in shape. Like the fuck are you bragging for?" And it was like at that moment, like, dude, my pride and my ego, like, my first instinct was like, "Yo, dude, let's get defensive. Let's defend ourselves. Like, let's explain why we're so fucking good." But like at that time, like, dude, like I knew better. I'm not, I'm not at my best. I'm actually at my lowest fucking point. I'm complete trash compared to anyone else out there. And he told me this one thing that I really needed to hear. And he said, "Yo, Alan, you need to grow up and change. You need to humble yourself and get angry that you're in this mess. You need to hate yourself enough to the point that you're going to change because you are absolute garbage. You need to actually look in the mirror and despise who you are." And like that same day, I was just like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, bro, like I get it. Like I appreciate you." I dapped them up. I started going home by myself. And like I remember just like that same night, I just like went to bed. I was like, like I really appreciate my uncle for doing that. But the message didn't really hit me until like the following day. And that was when I was like, "Yeah, I gotta make this decision to fucking kill the man in the mirror." So, the death and rebirth of myself. April 11th, 2025. I remember, like, dude, I was looking in the fucking mirror, and, you know, this fucking picture that you guys can see right here. Long hair, pale skin, sunken eyes, weak frame, no muscle. Like, dude, I had like zero motivation to do shit in my life. At this very moment, I was just like, "Fuck, man, how low have we fucking fallen?" And like when I saw that shit, I was just like I remember just like sitting there, like looking at the mirror and actually just crying. And I'm saying that I was crying because it was like, you ever just come to this realization where you feel so fucking helpless, everything seems hopeless, and you know deep down that it's your fault. And for me, I was upset, not even just because that I was just like sad that like, yeah, like, dude, like I'm broke, I'm in debt, I just got dumped, like shit like that, right? But it was also because I was fucking pissed, because I realized that I was the one that got myself in this position. Like it's no one else's fault. Like I can't blame my business model for failing. I cannot blame my clients for not wanting to pay me. I cannot blame my students for not wanting to listen. Like I have no one to blame but myself. So I hated the guy that I saw in the mirror. I hated my reflection. And I understood that there was only one way out of this entire fucking mess. That reflection that I saw in the mirror, I needed to kill him and start over. So that same day, April 11th, I made a promise to myself. I'm gonna practice what I fucking preach. I teach people how to do identity shifting. I've helped other students. I've done it myself when I was 24 to 25. Now I gotta do the same thing again. And that's exactly what I did. Whenever you feel like you're in absolute shambles, like you're fucking stuck, like nothing you're doing is working, identity shift. I shit you not. That's all you have to do. For 90 days, focus on yourself. So I started off with doing, I feel like, what many people do: buzz cut mode, bro. And that's exactly what I did. That same day, I went from fucking this with long hair and shit. And no lie, I actually low key liked myself with long hair because I've always wondered as a kid. I was like, "Yo, what does Alan look like with long hair?" Sexy as fuck, right? You know what I mean? Obviously not, man. And then I went for the buzz cut look. I was like, you know what? Time for a change. And I decided, I was like, "Yo, let's redo life in general. redo the routine, start treating myself like a parent would treat his kid, instill discipline mercilessly. Like I'm talking about, like, you ever seen like those like little kids on the street and you see them misbehaving and you see like their new parents basically just like let them off the hook. But you know very well that our parents back then, when we were kids, they'd smack the shit out of us for like fucking misbehaving and shit. That's literally what I had to do my to that's literally what I had to do to myself, was to put the discipline back into myself because, bro, procrastination, overthinking, fucking moping and coping and fucking crying about everything, that's not who I wanted to be. So my new philosophy at that moment was, my current actions, are they killing the old me or are they bringing him back to life? And now, in order to fully change one's life, one must change their identity as a whole. What does that mean? You need a new set of beliefs, you need a new set of thoughts, you need a new set of actions. You absolutely must recreate your entire identity from scratch if you actually want a new life. So I'm going to show you exactly what I did. So now for this part, highly recommended. Take out a piece of paper, get a pen, and however you want to like record your answers. I'm gonna guide you through this like step-by-step process that I guide my students on, and what I basically did for myself to recreate myself into recreating my life. So this is a few questions that you gotta answer. First thing we gotta do is we need to logically audit our current life in extreme detail. And when I say that, I mean like, dude, your current situation, like literally look around you, right? Be as tangible as possible. Ask yourself, where do you currently live? Who is currently in your social circle? So I'm talking about like whether it be your significant partner, your friends, mentors, teachers, parents, family members. Who is currently in your social circle? Write them all down. And the third thing, what do you currently do for work? You running a business? You working a job? You doing a combination of both? What does that sort of look like? And then next question you should answer: how much are you currently making? How much do you currently have saved up? Funny statistic: 77% of Americans. No, what was the statistic? I think it was like 60% of Americans are fucking broke as shit. They don't even have $1,000 to their name, and I think like 80% of Americans are in have some sort of debt or something like that. But yeah, I would answer that question and write that shit down because looking at your bank account, that shit is gonna hurt. I know that shit definitely hurt me when I fucking looked at it when I first started. But the next thing after that is, ask yourself, how much do you weigh and how do you actually look like as a person? Like, bro, look in the mirror, take a picture of it, fucking put it somewhere that you can see. Look in that mirror, I can tell you right now that if you look at it and you're not proud of yourself, something gotta fucking change. Final question you gotta ask: are you currently single or taken? Now you can see that the questions that I've asked you to answer, they target three different things in your life: health, wealth, relationships. It's supposed to do that because these are the three things that we're gonna have to increase overall. So let's audit the current life in detail, answer those questions, and we'll move on to the next thing. Now, next thing I want you to identify is who you are as a person in this very moment. Because who you are dictates the life that you're going to have. Our inner world, aka our identity, reflects what we have in the outer world, aka the real world, real life. So if you want to change your circumstances on the outside world, then you got to start with who you are as a person on the inside. Questions to ask yourself: what beliefs do you have about the world? Could be your beliefs around business and money, beliefs around the dating world, politics, economics, beliefs around technology, like whatever it is. Like literally audit yourself. Like ask yourself, like, what kind of beliefs do you have right now about anything? I would preferably say, what are the beliefs that you have about the three things about health, wealth, and relationships? Write them all down. Next thing to go after: what do you constantly think about on a daily basis? Like what's that one thing that's always on the top of your mind that doesn't let you sleep at night? And a good way to figure out the answer to that question is by journaling on a daily basis. First thing in the morning, like literally just journal for like 10, 15 minutes. No prompt, no nothing. Just literally like free write whatever the fuck you want. Like what's the first thing that comes to mind? And I guarantee you, after 1, 2 weeks of just like consistently journaling, bro, copy paste that shit, put it into ChatGPT, have ChatGPT tell you what it notices about your thoughts. What is the thing that you constantly think about? That's like the easiest way that I've identified it in any case. I do it for myself, and that shit helps a lot. Now, third thing, what characteristics, what traits do you have? Are you someone that's more like introverted? Are you extroverted? Are you impulsive? Are you logical? Are you emotional? Like, answer this in full detail. Like, be transparent with yourself. What kind of person are you? And the next thing is like, what are your core values? What do you treasure? You treasure friendship, trust, um, humor. If you don't know what core values are, you can search it up as well. There's like a whole list of them that you can write down. And this is something that if you were to write down, it would actually help you identify with like, okay, I'll give you an example of that, right? One of my core values is friendship. So for me, because my core value is friendship, I like to see everyone around me as like my friend, whether it be like my students, the people that I meet on the street, my actual friends. I truly value friendship first, and I feel like that's what makes me have such a good relationship with anyone that I talk to, anyone that I work with. Now, finally speaking, what are your income generating actions, your fitness actions, mindset actions, and social actions? Now, after you write down all your answers, we've identified your current life and who you are as a person. Now it's actually time to start recreating who you are. And now, with that, we need to identify where we want to be in life. And I usually just tell people to set up like a 5 year vision. And the reason why I say that is because if you think about it, right, we're in 2025 right now. Like, imagine how life looks like in 2030. It's like that's 5 years of time that you have available in your hands. Like, imagine setting up these like dreams for yourself. Like, go wild with it. Like, the sky is literally the fucking limit. Like, ask yourself, where do you want to live? Who do you want to have in your social circle? How do you want to generate income? How much do you want to generate and have? How do you want to physically look like? Who do you want to have in your social circle? So I said that already, but it's like go wild with it. Be super descriptive, colorful, vivid, tangible. Be selfish as fuck. And the reason why I say that is because it's like there's so much power behind like creating a vision. Because when you write everything down and add pictures to it to make it even more visually appealing, I guarantee if you were to look at that, right? Like vision boards as an example is basically what I had you create right now. If you were to create like a vision board and you stare at it and you read through what it is that you actually want, bro, there's just like feeling that you're gonna get like inside of your chest. It's like not just like motivation, but more so like this like powerful energy that you have that actually makes you want to take action because you realize you're like, this is what I want. This can become a reality. I just know deep down that I need to take action on it. And that's why I have people create a 5 year vision because it's like, yeah, this is something incredible that can change my life. Like, this is a possibility. And that's why I have people create it. Now, after you create that 5 year vision, I want you to envision yourself, like who you are, that future version of yourself that you are in 5 years that has all of these wonderful things in this wonderful life. The guy who's rich as fuck, he's in shape, he's jacked, he's shredded, strong as fuck, he's in a loving relationship, and he's successful. He has attained the true meaning of freedom. For us, it's gonna be a little bit different for everybody, but more or less the same. We need to figure out what this person does, what he believes in, what he thinks about on a daily basis. How does he act? How does he move? So, questions to ask yourself are, what new beliefs does he have about the world? What does he constantly think about now? What new characteristics or traits does he have? What bad habits has he gotten rid of? What new habits does he have now? What are the new income generating habits, fitness actions, mindset actions, and social actions that he has? So, a way to imagine that is like, okay, maybe like a new income generating habit might be like, I don't know, um, fucking doing marketing, starting a business, studying more about how to sell, fitness actions like going to the gym, picking up a new hobby, picking up a new sport, mindset actions like meditation, prayer, social actions like socialization, maybe doing code convos on a daily basis, code approaching people, whatever it is that it may be. Like everybody has their own version of this to get them to the life that they want to live. So after you've written your actions down, right? I want you to put this new singular thought process because this is the one thing that has driven me to consistency. Doesn't matter how I feel, doesn't matter if I feel like shit, doesn't matter if I don't want to wake up or if I don't feel motivated. The one question that always pops up in my head is, what would future me, who's an athlete, who's rich as fuck. He has a high level social circle of friends and a loving partner. What would he do right here, right now? And ask yourself that question on the daily basis. Whenever you don't feel like getting up, ask yourself that question, and I guarantee you, your chances of actually getting up and doing the work will significantly increase. But now, it's great that you've identified your circumstances, who you are as a person, the life you want to live, and the person you need to become in order to get to that life. But now is the part that 99% of people are going to fail on. And that part is called execution. And I'm telling you right now, it's like there's a reason why it's called 99% of people, because out of the 100 people that actually watch a video or actually see anything that might be life changing, only one person actually decides to stick to it and take action. And here's the thing, right? Everybody does really well when it comes to goal setting and shit because they all like mentally masturbate over the idea of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be fit as fuck. I'm gonna have so much fucking money. I'm gonna have this amazing relationship and all that shit, right? But guess what? Every single New Year resolution, I forgot what it was called at like the end of the month, like January, but it's basically like everybody that has essentially done goal setting, they have this like falling out. Like everybody drops out like at the end of the month. And the reason for that is because it's like it's unsustainable. Or if not that, then there are so many of us, like myself included, like dude, I'm especially guilty of this shit. I've done it so many times before where I'm just like, yeah, bro, today's the day I promise that everything's gonna change. And then 1 week later, you go back to fucking square one, back to the bad habits, doom scrolling, fucking binge watching shows and type shit. It's like, yo, dude, no amount of journaling or watching motivational videos is gonna push you to do what's necessary to become successful, right? So you cannot just use motivation and sheer willpower to stay consistent. And I guarantee you, bro, you are not fucking David Goggins. Like, I don't care how hard you try, you will never be him. You cannot just sheer willpower your way to success. And the reason why I say this, and I say this with respect and love, you are average. I'm sorry to say it. You are not him. like, like, I'm not him either. Like, I had to tell myself that in order for me to actually improve my life, is by accepting the fact that you are simply not special. I don't care what your mom has told you about you saying, you're a special boy. Like, dude, you're not special. I guarantee you. You might be different, but you definitely sure as hell you ain't special. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching this shit. You would not be in the position that you are in right now. So, in order to make your success inevitable, 3 factors of consistency: urgency, necessity, and obsession. You have to make your goals absolutely necessary to get there. It has to be as necessary as air. It has to be as urgent as if you had a gun to your fucking head, and if you don't become successful, then you're gonna fucking die. You have to be as obsessed with your success as if you were fucking playing video games back then. And if you were like me, I was obsessed with playing video games back during COVID-19, during pandemic, because I had nothing else to do. That is what you need. And the thing about execution is that it is not fucking sexy, bro. All right, it's not like those fucking movies where you have like that like rock bottom moment where there's like fucking like Rocky Balboa or some shit, or I don't know, fucking like Peter Parker in Spider-Man where he's getting bullied and shit and he finally gets bit by a spider and then he becomes like this like fucking superhero that we all know and love. It ain't like that. Like recovering from rock bottom and actually changing your life, it's so slow and painful, and I think on top of that, dude, it's lonely as fuck. Because when you're all the way down here and everybody else is up here, nobody's gonna look at you. Like, bro, when was the last time you seen a homeless person on the street and you were like the first thing on your mind is like, oh damn, like I feel bad, he's homeless. And then like 2 seconds later, you're back to your life and you forget how he even looks like within like the next second. Like, bro, you are that homeless person. No one gives a shit about you as much as you're gonna give a shit about yourself. And I'm sorry to say that. And the thing about that is that changing your life is gonna be so fucking painful because it's literally a spiritual battle within yourself. There is the old version of you and the new version of yourself that you're trying to become. And they're constantly fucking fighting each other. And wait until you get to that point where you're like 30 days consistent, 45 days consistent, even 90 days consistent, where you're in this like weird ass middle place that I call the in between, where it's like, you know, you've become this new person, but the results aren't there just yet. You're sort of just waiting for reality to kick in and catch up with you. That, especially in that moment, if you are by yourself, the chances of you going back to your old identity is still so fucking high because you haven't accepted the fact that you are this new person and that you just have to keep doing what you're doing right now. So, in order to actually make sure that you're going to be successful, you need to put yourself in the best possible position ever to make sure that you take actions on your dreams every single day, even if you don't see the results. And to give you a little bit of context, for me, my version of making sure that I was executing on a daily basis no matter what, it was changing up my work environment. Like I used to do work at home a lot. Like right now I'm currently doing like I'm recording this video at home. Like don't get me wrong, but that's just simply because like I have a studio and I'm able to, record my shit here. And I feel better recording here as opposed to the cafe where it's like noisy as shit. But when it comes to like any other work, like doing my writing for my newsletters or like even like for like creating content or even for like the work that I do as a sales rep, like I'll do it in a cafe because I know for a fact that doing work at home, my chances of actually being productive are lower for me. It's going to be different for you, obviously, but for me, I find it easier for me to do work in a different environment. And sometimes, like, even like the gym, like, I still have a home gym as well, but like I'll pump out like a quick workout or something like that just to stay in shape. But I see the most like progress when I go to a rock climbing gym. And that's a new hobby I picked up, by the way. I actually love going rock climbing, and they actually have a gym in there as well. And they also have a co-working space. And sometimes I'll post on my story on Instagram that, dude, it's like fucking 2 a.m. I'm still at the rock climbing gym in the co-working session space. And I'm like fucking like typing, like doing my work there. But yeah, like, dude, I've changed my environment so much. And not only that, I also set up like hourly alarms to remind myself to get back to work. And I'll show you what that looks like, right? Like, dude, like I gotta fucking show you right now. So my my alarms they literally look like this. I have alarms for each and every single, not like every single hour, but like for different things as like reminders, like, yo, dude, you gotta post content, you gotta wake up, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. And besides that, I also found a new mentor to keep me accountable daily for sales training. I actually got two mentors. I got Tim Chow from Sales Mafia and Brian Choi from Real Sales Systems, but story for another time. At the end of the day, everybody has their own systems that are gonna, eventually work for them because it's different for everyone, you know? And I think for me, it's like the one takeaway that you guys can get from this is like simply like asking yourself, what can I do to put myself in the best possible position? Like the most successful version of myself, right? What would he do right here, right now, to put himself in the best possible position of becoming successful and ultimately changing his life so that he can become more fit, more healthy, more wealthy, more mentally strong, and just absolutely become super fucking confident in himself to become successful? Like, what can he do right here, right now? And everything that I've just covered, like, I'm telling you right now, like, this is all from like personal experience. And I'm going to put my little CTA here. If you want my personal help in setting up your own personal systems and building out your 90-day roadmap for permanent transformation, I am doing free one-on-one calls until the end of August. So feel free to book a call. I'll put the link in the description for you to book a call. And we'll just review pretty much like what you're doing right now, where you're trying to go. And then we'll just set up an entire 90-day game plan for you to actually get there. It's completely free. Besides that, results that you can expect. So right now I'm 27 years old. I know I'm old as fuck. I'm about to reach 30. Fuck, old as shit. But I finished my identity shifting journey about 2 weeks ago, and at this point, I've just been fucking enjoying the fruits of my labor. I took like a week off from like posting content and stuff like that, just to really reflect, man. Like, I'm so grateful for this, and I honestly feel blessed because like the past week where I just stopped posting content in general, I don't even know how to say this, but I'm so happy, dude. Like I'm genuinely so fucking happy. I am literally in the best shape of my fucking life. Like, bro, like I ain't jacked that shit, but I'm pretty happy with my success, you know what I mean? But besides that, like, dude, I'm in better shape right now than I was at 25. And at 25, bro, let me see if I still fucking got a picture here. But I was pretty fucking jacked at 25. Like, I was in pretty good shape. But let me see if I could find the fucking picture. I don't have a picture of when I was at 20 when I was 25, but I do have a picture of myself like when I was underweight like earlier this year. And you guys definitely cannot see this, but yeah, there we go. Dude, I was not in shape. I was underweight, bro. You know? And besides that, I am also in a strong community of entrepreneurs and athletes. And just to fucking show you what that looks like, yo, dude, shameless plug here, but I'm gonna show you guys. Oh fuck! I don't think I can show you guys actually because my screen is not fucking sharing this shit. Not live. It is. It is. It is. It is. Not this one. But yeah, shameless plug in my community. Like I got two guys right here going back to back, posting daily videos every fucking single day of what they're doing for work, and these guys have been on the fucking grind. I'm so proud of them. Like Ben and Justin, shout out to you guys. But the community that I want to show you guys that I'm a part of right now is like this one. Like, dude, Real Cell Systems. This is where my mentor Brian Choi is at. And when I just look at the wins, it's been like fucking crazy. It's like 6 days ago, this guy got fucking 8K in 1 week. This other guy ended up closing 5K in deals. This guy made $29,000 in commissions. It's like it's fucking nuts, bro. When you're a part of a community like this where people are just winning every fucking single day, like it makes you ask yourself, it's like, dude, my friends are all making money. What about me? Right? Or not even about like the money making aspect, but like if you have like a group of friends that want to get better at something, like not even just like business or making money, but also with like sports or something, like put yourself in the community just like that. If you see your friends winning or you see your friends getting bigger at the gym, right? You're gonna start asking yourself, like, dude, I feel left out. I want to be like that. What can I do to put myself in that position so that I could keep doing what they're doing? And besides the community of entrepreneurs and athletes, dude, this is one of my biggest fucking wins ever, bro. I'm working with Mino Lee. So if you guys don't know who he is, here, like I'll fucking click on this link for you guys. So Asian entrepreneur, fucking talking about like personal branding, 405K followers. So I'm working with this guy as his sales rep, and dude, that was like my like one of my proudest moments ever. So, oh my god, dude, I get to go to work wherever the fuck I want, whenever the fuck I want, whether it be in cafes or gyms or like whatever it is. Like, dude, you fucking name it. And at the same time, like I'm not gonna talk about this, but I did find a new partner, but I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna talk about that right now. I've never felt more amazing in my life right now, dude. Like it's it's been fucking nuts for me. And it's like everything's coming my way, dude. Like opportunities, my friends, life just honestly seems like pretty fucking colorful and everything. But I can guarantee you that if you do focus on yourself for the next 90 days and you do it every fucking single day, that you're going to have either one of the following. You're either going to be physically healthier, you're going to be mentally stronger, financially stronger, you're going to be more confident, or your overall happiness is just going to improve. And this is the best thing that you can do for yourself. So I don't want to hold you guys anymore. It's been like 40 fucking minutes I've been recording this video. So I hope that whatever I said here inspires you, gives you hope that if I can do it, you can too. And as usual, um, yeah, dude, like if you guys have any questions, hit me up on Instagram or book a call with me and like, bro, I fucking got you. Let's fucking win. Peace.